Hello everyone, welcome to StudyIQ English, your favorite UPSC platform. Today let's talk about the nightmare bacteria. I'm sure you must have heard that across the world a new kind of disease is emerging, and this one is very serious. The mortality rates are also very high. Just few years before, the WHO, World Health Organization, had also warned that in future the world may be looking into another pandemic, but this pandemic will be created because of superbugs, a class of microorganisms including bacteria, virus, fungi, which will not respond to any known medication. They are so strong, they have mutated so much now that they do not react to any known antibiotic. It is very difficult, therefore, to kill them. And these are the superbugs, the nightmare bacteria. So many such cases have come up in the recent past in the US, in the European countries, including the countries of South Asia, as well as India, where the doctors are helplessly looking, but they do not know how to cure the disease. The disease spreads rapidly until it is leading to mortality. In future, will this break into another pandemic? And will we continue to face danger from such superbugs is something we will discuss in this video. Now, the nightmare bacteria, as the doctors are calling it, is a bacteria which is so resistant to any known antibiotic that it doesn't respond to the typical medications, the strongest of antibiotics used by the doctors. The infection is spreading quickly, resulting in seizures, fever, muscle failure, and sometimes, in fact, majority number of times, it is resulting in death. These are the kind of bacteria who have mutated and evolved to a limit where they cannot be killed by the use of any known medicine. And hence we are calling them superbugs. We are also calling them the nightmare bacteria. Although these could be the various kind of funguses, it could be the various kind of viruses, but typically the increasing number of cases are related to this superbug called nightmare bacteria. Now, antimicrobial resistance is a phenomena that is usually understated, but then it has been a major cause of concern for medical professionals across the world. In the last 10 to 15 years, the case of antimicrobial resistance has only increased. The causes are overuse and abuse of antibiotic, not only for human health, but also across animal husbandry. This has resulted in the birth of some such bacteria, some such parasites, some such bugs, which are today defying all the medical protocols. They therefore will never respond to any known medical treatment. They will resist antibiotics. If they are viruses, they will resist various antiviral medications. If they are funguses, they are resisting antifungal medications. So therefore, they are causing a major threat to the life of people across the world. It is a natural phenomenon because as these microorganisms are evolving, they are becoming only more stronger with every passing month. Now, the number of infections that can be attributed to this new drug resistant nightmare bacteria rose to almost 70% only between 2019 and 2023 in the US. Similarly, as per a report given by CDC, the Center for Control or Disease Control and Prevention in US, it is today one of the largest public health emergencies in America. Now, talking about World Health Organization, even the World Health Organization has identified antimicrobial resistance, AMR, to be one of the most top 10 threats to public health, to global health, across developed and the developing countries. Now, usually, antimicrobial resistance happens when germs like bacteria, fungus, and viruses they get so powerful that now they are easily able to fight off the medicines that were earlier used to kill them. So they don't respond at all. It is estimated that antimicrobial resistance was initially responsible for the 1.27 million global deaths in 2019, and then it has also contributed to about 4.95 million deaths overall. With the disease only increasing, a lot of investigations are being done to identify how to control this problem. Now, usually the antimicrobial resistant disease or the superbug bacteria, the nightmare bacteria, is a bacteria that carries a gene with itself, and the gene is known as the NDM gene. It is known as the New Delhi metallo lactamase gene. Why is it named this way? Because initially it was discovered in a patient who was being treated at New Delhi. And since then we call it the NDM gene. A bacteria that carries the NDM gene is usually the one that is known as the nightmare bacteria because it doesn't respond to any known antibiotic so far. Usually the doctors then, as a last resort, have to go and use the most strong, the most emergency form of antibiotic known as the carbapenems. The carbapenems. But sometimes the problem is the doctors are saying maybe in times to come, these bacteria will stop responding to this strongest form of antibiotic, the carbapenem as well. And in that case, what shall the world community do? That will become a major danger. At the same time, the World Bank has estimated that antimicrobial resistance could also cause a loss of US $1 trillion additional healthcare cost by 2050. That means the burden on the global healthcare will only keep on increasing. And this is worse for countries which already experience a high burden of NCD, non-communicable disease, India being one of these countries here. At the same time, not only is it a loss to the gross domestic product, to the economy, it also causes premature death. Because antimicrobial resistance is a disease that can plague any patient. There is no need for you to have a comorbidity. It is not like it will trouble a patient of a certain age group or a gender. Anybody who is exposed to a hospital, to a clinical setup, to a place that is not very clean and hygienic, can acquire the disease because superbugs are everywhere. And generally, they will attack people who are more immunocompromised, whose immunity is on the lower side. It's very difficult to prevent them. It's worse, it's impossible almost to treat them. What are the leading causes that the world is experiencing such a high level of AMR today? The biggest reason is misuse of antibiotic. Now we know that in most countries, including India, antibiotics of various classes are available over the counter. It comes in the category of OTC drug, over the counter drug, which means people are taking unnecessary administration of antibiotics, even for viral infections sometimes. This leads to the body becoming more and more accustomed to a certain kind of medicine. At the same time, people do not have awareness to continue the medication. Sometimes people discontinue taking the medicine midway, which does not fully kill the infection. That means bacteria has not died because you stop the treatment midway. The bacteria only became stronger. And hence tomorrow, the chance is that the bacteria will never again respond to the same drug. Similarly, there is another problem. Antibiotics are also majorly used in some countries in animal husbandry sector. Antibiotics are considered as growth promoters for various animals and cattle. They are also induced to animals for improving milk production in the milching cattle. So which also means the antibiotics are penetrating our food system in a very big way. At the same time, there is limited regulation on the use of generic antibiotics in developing countries, particularly in countries like India and Pakistan, which are highly crowded. Public healthcare systems are not accessible to everyone. At the same time, private healthcare is also very expensive. So, in this, self medication becomes the norm, where people are readily using antibiotics, and COVID was a great example here. During COVID, even many registered medical practitioners were advising steroids and antibiotics to people, and we all saw the result. The patients began complaining of various fungal infections, the black fungus, yellow fungus, and so on. All that was because further the immunity was only destroyed after taking unnecessary antibiotics. So, wherever you have a compromised healthcare system, overcrowded, unsanitary hospitals, the chance of acquiring infection is even higher. Now, the World Health Organization, to combat this problem, had long back in 2015 adopted a plan that is known as Global Action Plan on Antimicrobial Resistance. It had 5 agendas. One of the agendas was to improve awareness and education about AMR. Second, to regulate and control the use of antibiotics except in emergency cases. 3. To advise the member countries to regulate the selling of antibiotics, antifungals, antivirals without a doctor's prescription. At the same time, the World Health Organization, under this plan, was also encouraging various countries to improve their hygiene and sanitary standards. The protocol was also about understanding the importance of One Health initiative, where plant, human, and animal health are seen as the same thing. So, we need to have a better surveillance of AMR induced infections. India also, inspired by this program, adopted its own National Action Plan on Antimicrobial Resistance long back in 2017. It was quite similar to the Global Action Plan of the World Health Organization. All the five agendas were incorporated by India also. The aim was to understand the value of One Health approach. After all, the health is the health of ecology. We cannot segregate human health from animal health because in the past we have seen the rise of zoonotic infections, the bird flu, swine flu, COVID pandemic, the Marburg virus, all these have the ability to cross the species barrier. They can spread and jump between species, animals to humans, and vice versa. So, therefore, India was also keen on the program. And typically, India adopted all the five safeguards that WHO had recommended in its Global Action Plan on AMR. There was one difference, however. India had an additional objective here. So, India created total 6 plans. And one of the key plans created by India, one extra plan, is to become a global leader, the voice of the global south, in controlling AMR. The voice of the global south in creating more awareness about reducing the use of unnecessary antibiotics. At the same time, India has also committed to create better interstate cooperation. So this is where India's program is a one step ahead as compared to the Global Action Plan. And at the same time, long back in 2022, there was another very milestone conference that happened at Muscat. It was known as Muscat Ministerial Manifesto on AMR. It also adopted a global agenda to control the spread of diseases caused by the superbugs. Similarly, the world community today is inspired towards adopting the One Health approach. Consider the health of ecology as one unified system. Similarly, the WHO also has a GLASS protocol, which stands for Antimicrobial Resistance and Use of Surveillance Systems. It is first of its own kind, collaborative system between countries where the countries are encouraged to collect data, to report their national estimates about how much AMR cases are being reported and how much have the countries been able to control the use of antibiotics and antifungal medications. So, with this in mind, there is another thing I want to tell you. Many countries across the world have already abolished the use of antibiotic as growth promoters for animals, including the countries of European Union in 2006. China did the same thing in 2015, whereas Canada in 2020, Australia 2017. Even the South Asian countries, including Bangladesh, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Sri Lanka, have passed similar laws. In India, although there are safety protocols, but there is no rule that prohibits the use of antibiotics in animals as either growth promoters or milk stimulators. So we need to take an urgent action here. Because as the superbug increases, and we have seen the example of Kerala, as Kerala is battling with a brain eating amoeba, such diseases, which are difficult to treat and control, they completely overwhelm the public health system and they create high number of mortality. Now, for a country like India, that is today dreaming of Atmanirbharta, and it is doing so much to achieve that. For a country like India, which is rooted in becoming complete Viksit, completely developed by 2047, and which has a great human resource capital, we cannot afford to let mortality and such superbugs take better of our medical systems, and therefore we need to act immediately. Let's have a look at the question here, a very important topic with regards to GS paper 3. Health, and especially the One Health approach, zoonotic. So the question says, with reference to antimicrobial resistance, look at the following statements. 1. Misuse and overuse of antibiotics in humans, animals, and agriculture contributes significantly to the rise of AMR. 2. The World Health Organization has declared AMR as the top 10 global public health care problems. And 3. India's National Action Plan on AMR aligns with the Global Action Plan that is endorsed by the World Health Organization. Now, if you have understood everything that we discussed in the video, This question should be easy for you. Try to answer. You can post your answer. Apart from that, you can also leave any sentiment, any idea, any suggestion that you have, and we can take it as a group discussion initiative. And before I take your leave, here's a quick reminder. Now, this is a wonderful news. You might be aware how at StudyIQ IAS we have completed the achievement of 20 million subscriber base. Now, this is a great milestone, and it has been possible only because of your support, your love, and your belief in us. So, this opportunity is also one where we are happy to announce a massive sale, a sale that is continuing till 30th September. And it is about giving you a very huge discount with prices for the GS Foundation courses beginning as humble as 20,000 rupees only. So you can use the codes live on your screen now and target the course, especially if you're preparing for UPSC 2026 or 2027. Now is the time you should take maximum benefit of professional guidance. And in case you want to directly reach out to us, then you can fill up a form that's available in the description box of the video. We will get back to you and we can discuss the course details there. So thank you so much and all the best.